together with you. And baby, if we keep it real, all the way real. I look like a clown trying to hold you down, but it won't happen this time around. I'm not mad at you, I've just outgrown the bullshit. I'm so tired of your bullshit. I've had enough of your shit. Always the same old, same old. Every time you call me and I don't call you back, I want you to know I'm mad at you. I just outgrown the bullshit. Ain't nobody got time for your 21 questions. You should know me by now, from my trials to my blessings. And baby, if we keep it real, I look like a clown trying to hold you down, but it won't happen this time around. I'm not mad at you, I just outgrown the bullshit. I'm so tired of your bullshit. Nobody got time for your bullshit. Your bullshit. You know I love you, baby. Stop wrong, the bullshit. I'm not mad at you. You see me enjoying life now, but baby, you just don't know how. I conquered my fears, cried a bunch of tears, wasted a lot of years, but I find myself together with you. And baby, if we keep it real, all the way real. I look like a clown trying to hold you down, but it won't happen this time around. I'm not mad at you, I just outgrown the bullshit. I'm so tired of your bullshit. I've had enough of your shit. Always the same old, same old.
How y'all doing tonight? How y'all doing? Oh, that mic is hot. How y'all doing tonight? This is Uncle Walter. I'm here with another episode of the Walt B Connection. I just got a question for you all. What you gonna do different in 2025? Coming to the close of the year. I got my birthday celebration coming up here soon, but I'm coming to a close of the year, and I have been reevaluating. Let me turn this down just a bit. It's a bit hot, even for me. All right, there we go. At the end of the year, I always tell you all I reevaluate myself, my goals. I reevaluate what I'm doing, what I've been doing. And I ask myself, what am I going to do different next year? I'm not one of those, everybody be like, oh, next year is going to be the best year of my life. Great. It's good to be, positive about things. But if you don't do anything different, you're not going to get any different results. Like, period, point blank. If you don't have a plan in place, you're just going to replicate the same thing. So I kind of wanted to get on here and talk about that. And I kind of just wanted to review a few things and kind of just go forward. We do have some shows coming up. We are coming back. I know I have been gone. The last show I did was in July, I think. Yeah, the last show I did was in July. We will be back. I had to take some time and get myself together. For those of you that don't know, I did graduate. I was going to say graduate high school. Lord, I'm telling ridiculousness. But I graduated from college here recently with a bachelor's degree. And so I was coming to the end of my program, and some of the classes got a little time consuming. And so as life would have it, I had to juggle. I had to pick which one I was going to go with. Was I going to continue to do the podcasting, or was I going to complete this degree? And I decided to complete the degree Because although this is a labor of love, a passion of mine, I do have other aspirations in life, and the degree would serve me better in those aspirations. So I went ahead and completed that degree, and I'm excited about it. Thank you, Sherman. Sherm, sorry. So I went ahead and completed that degree. And hey, how you doing? Um, those of you who are tuning in, go ahead and click that like button, subscribe to this channel. We have some amazing conversations lined up. For those of you that don't know, we did a lot of talking on this channel, particularly about church hurt, about church rejection, about leaving the church, about deconstructing. And in that we uncovered a lot and we processed through a lot. And I'm not going to rush anybody's healing and anybody's restoration and reconciliation. That's not what we're here for. But I do kind of want to start talking through what it looks like to overcome church hurt. Okay, so we've accepted the fact that you've been hurt. I understand it's a thing. I respect it's a thing. I know that it's something you've been through, but we don't want to just sit in that. During my journey, and this is a real talk, during my journey, because I went from pastoring to pretty much giving the church the middle finger. And some of you sat here and watched me and laughed. We laughed and joked while I gave the church the middle finger. Here on YouTube, the videos are still up. I'm leaving them up because they are a part of my journey and a part of my testimony. And I want to be able to pull them up at any moment and be able to show the real. I don't like to help people from a place of um, a place of dishonesty. I don't think you can help people being dishonest, and so I just want to be real. Like your boy, at one point, I was just like, "F the church." I don't F with the church. I don't mess with it. People would be like, "I'm praying for you." Please don't. Right. But I was having a conversation earlier today, which was amazing, and I'll get back to this in a second. I was having a conversation through those times. I I could not walk away from God because I had experiences with God that I couldn't deny. Right. So even in the times when the religion couldn't keep me, the relationship had to keep me. The relationship had to sustain me. Hey Nicole, how you doing? Coco the goddess. Yeah. Um, when the religion could no longer service me, I had to rely on my relationship. And it's difficult to have this conversation with people who have an overly religious mind because they don't believe that God can meet you outside of the church. But I had to go through that because I was born and raised in church. So all I knew was bucking and speaking in tongues and rolling on the carpet and getting what you need, get what you need. Well, that's all I knew. But once I became an outcast from that system and a reject from that system, I then had to find God in another venue, in another way. And I had to realize that God is in all and of all. And so once I let my guard down, I began to experience God in different ways. And you'll see me say this in different videos. And so here I am now, and I'm rekindling a relationship with the divine, with God, the universe, however, the God of your understanding. I'm rekindling that worshipful experience. I'm rekindling that prayer, being prayerful. I'm rekindling the trying to be the best representative of them that I can be. Again, I can't be what I was because I was the cookie cutter, carbon copy. I was when if you meet somebody and they tell me how I used to be, chances are they're right. Yeah. Oh, he used to be a man of God. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I used to claim that. I used to could preach. I used to could do all of that, but that's not where I'm at right now. It's just not. It's just not. And I'm growing. Getting back to what I was talking about. So we processed the church hurt. We processed the church betrayal, the spiritual fallout. We've processed being neglected. We processed that. But now I kind of want to just talk about the healing process. What does it look like to heal? During my process while I was giving the church the middle finger, the Lord convicted me bad. He convicted me bad because he asked me, so are you going to fight hate with hate? Are you going to become the very thing that you don't are you going to do the very thing that you don't appreciate that they're doing to you? Are you going to do this to them? And I'm not gonna lie, for a moment there I tried to act like I didn't understand, because we can do that with the divine when he's pulling our card. We can absolutely be willfully ignorant when he is checking us. And eventually I had to just give in and was like, I don't got a problem with the church, with the whole church. I just don't F with those people. And I'm still low key, and that's low key where I'm at right now. So I love God, don't have a problem with the church. There's just some of them out there I don't F with. And that's where I'm at. I don't know if that'll ever change because that's deep in there. That's deep in there. That's right next to sugar go on grits. Sugar go on grits. I don't F with them. They on that same level of deepness on the inside of me. And so yeah, that's where I was and where I am. And so I have a good friend of mine who's going to come on, and not tonight, but he's going to come on in the future, and we're just going to have the conversation of what does it look like to heal from church hurt. And I'm going to tell you now, some of it is going to be unconventional. It's going to be a little challenging for some, because what I found out is when it comes to religion, a lot of people don't know how to think out. They don't know how to cognitively think about religion from a critical standpoint. They only know how to process with the tools that the church or the whatever denomination has given them. And you can't blame them for that because you only know what you know, right? You only know what you know. But if you open your mind to what's in front of you, if you open your mind, you open yourself up, you'll begin to see things differently. And these are the things we want to explore, such as sometimes you have to find a space. If you're in a space and that space isn't comfortable for you, you don't feel comfortable worshiping there, it doesn't always mean you got the demon. It doesn't always mean that you're operating in the wrong spirit. It doesn't always mean you got to correct something in you. Sometimes you just got to find a new church to worship at. Right. And that's difficult in the Black community because we take church going serious, y'all. I know people that were Baptist born, Baptist bred, and when it's all said and done, they're gonna be Baptist dead. I was born and raised Kojic, child, and they said you can't join in. You got to be born in it, right? We take these things seriously, but sometimes you got to realize that culture is not servicing you. It's no longer providing what you need to grow and sustain who you are. And in some cases, it becomes more of a threat to your mental health than a help to your mental health. And you got to be able to chuck the deuces and go where you can get what you need. And that may just be a different type of space. And so we just want to navigate what that looks like. And I'll have a good friend of mine come on. We'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about growing spiritually. And you all know it would not be a season of the Won't Be Connection if I did not continue the series on hoodoo versus Christianity. Hoodoo versus Christianity. I didn't say voodoo with the V. I said hoodoo with an H versus Christianity. If you're on my YouTube channel, you can go back. We've done several videos on hoodoo versus Christianity because it amazes me how many Black Christians now. I grew up in the Black church, and it amazes me how many Black Christians will say hoodoo is demonic. Oh, the blood of Jesus. Satan, you are a liar. Get that demonic out of here. Okay, y'all probably don't cuss. Y'all probably don't cuss because you're saved. But y'all will y'all might as well say get that up out of here. The way you act and the way you execute things. But when you trace things back and you realize what hoodoo is, like exactly what hoodoo is, and you start to see where it came from, and then you look at the parallels between like hoodoo and let's say the apostolic church. So I won't attack the grand old just yet, but let's just say the PAW. You see the parallels between the PAW and the apostolic church and hoodoo and Kojic and Baptist. We're gonna throw all y'all up in there. You start to see there's a lot of similarities and a lot of parallels, right? And then once you realize the history, you start to realize a lot of our forefathers who started the church were probably hoodoo practitioners who started preaching, or were probably preachers who realized that they needed a little extra something and they started practicing. Who These are conversations we're going to have. So I absolutely have the guests lined up, and we're gonna go and we're gonna have these conversations. This season, I will open it back up to people with opposing views. For a while, I did not have people on the show with opposing views because people forgot how to just have a healthy debate. And ain't nobody got time for y'all sitting up on my screen. If you cannot intellectually give voice to how you feel and what you believe, sometimes it just may help you to shut the hell up and listen to somebody that can. And so I went and found some people who can give us that intellectual back and forth that would help us move forward as a culture. Our theme is that we push the culture forward one issue at a time. So this is what we have coming here in the near future to the Wyd Connection. I have the guests lined up. Cannot wait to have them talk. I just while I'm talking, I just realized I have someone that I'm gonna see what I have to do to try to get them on. They believe in Jesus and all the things, but they read tarot cards. I think, and they've given me a tarot reading. So just so that we're clear, they're not with the dispensing demons and curses and stuff, but they've given me a tarot reading before. I identify they pray for me regularly, so I want to see what I can do to get them on, and maybe we can discuss the framework. What does it look like to practice Christianity and also embrace African spirituality, your African heritage? What does that look like? I want to have that conversation. I also want to, Lord, I'm sitting here thinking, because we're just talking. I'm also thinking I want to revisit the topic we talked about a while ago. Why is African spirituality so demonized? And I would love to have that conversation as to why is it demonized? It seems like everybody else gets to have their culture's spirituality reverenced, revered, and so forth, but our spirituality seems to be demonized. Tough, but they be demonizing us tough, bro. And so I just want to have that thorough, full, well-rounded conversation. That's what I want to have. I also have my birthday party coming up. If you want to join me at the birthday, you're more than welcome to join me at the birthday. Hold on, let me see if I got that video on here. For my birthday. Hold on, let me play my birthday video real quick. Right here. Right, we go. Hey y'all, this is Uncle Walter. My birthday party is coming up on December 14th. Now, I want you to understand two things about this. Number one, this is not a church service, so leave your shouting shoes at home. Bring your dancing clothes, because we're going to shake our booties, okay? Number two, I need you to understand, this is not a church service. There will be alcohol involved. Don't worry, we not gonna get pissy drunk. We ain't trying to, be drunk as the skunk and call the cops and till the cops come knock it. None of that. None of that. But I do promise a time will be had, okay? Now, if you want to attend, I need you to respond to this video. I will send you the link so that you can RSVP. And yes, this is safe space. All my friends are invited. Gay, straight, trans, all y'all. I want to see all y'all and hug all y'all necks. It's free and no gift required. Love y'all. Bye. All right. So I'll see y'all. That's this coming is it Friday? That's this coming Saturday. My birthday party. It's my birthday and I cry if I want. That's not how they go. But anyway, yeah. That's the event. That's what we'll be doing. And I can't wait. We got the bartender. Everything is going. The bartender. Anyway, yeah, we got all that planned. And we're gonna have us a good time. I just kind of wanted to go over a few things. I was asked what was my favorite moment of 2024. And I hope I picked the right video to show y'all. So my favorite moment of 2024 was when I was on stage with my boo. Her name is Angie. And I hope she watches this. I didn't send her the link, so she probably not on tonight. But I was on stage with my boo, Angie, because at night I think of you. And she and we go back and forth. We do vocal. I don't want to call it competition because we don't never compete with each other, but we just, we do vocal horse. Basketball players play horse. We do vocal horse. And so on this night, I got tricked because I was singing and I thought she jumped in and started mimicking me, which we do. I'll do a run and then she'll jump in and do a run right behind me. And then the next thing you know, we playing with each other. So I got tricked. The sound guy, who is an amazing sound guy, put echo on my mic. And so I hit a lick, and I heard the lick back. And so if you watch the video, I turn around and I start singing to her because I'm thinking we're playing horse and we're not playing horse. And when I went back and seen the video, I was like, wait, she didn't pick up her mic one time. But yeah, this was one of my favorite moments this year. Hold on, let me throw this. I'm gonna do to you tonight. I'm a Capricorn, baby. That's my sign, baby. Hey, baby, you must be used to be singing. And all that sweet wine and dying. But not one person picked their mic up while I was singing. And in that moment, was I high? I don't think I was high. I may have been a little drunk, but I don't think I was high. But anyway, in that moment, I was singing and I thought she was echoing me. When I realized she wasn't echoing me, I thought the lead singer that we were singing background for was echoing me. So I'm over here doing things thinking he's singing back and forth with me. He's not. I realized he picked up his mic at the end and was like, y'all give it up for Walt B. And I was like, oh, I really just did all of that by myself. He did give me the floor as the background singer, so I wasn't out of turn, but it was late. I think we got there at like 8:00, and we didn't end up singing till like closer to 11 p.m. So that was anyway, it ended up being one of my favorite times because me and my boo Angie, we still laugh about that night to this day. So that's the one thing. One of the main things I'm asked is they want to know what's safe and what's not safe when it comes to religious spaces. And I want to give you permission to trust yourself. You don't need my permission. You're absolutely an adult. You should be able to do this, but a lot of times we don't know that we have the autonomy to trust ourselves. If you feel like something's going on and you don't feel safe, my advice is to get out. But I also want you to use, sometimes we over spiritualize it. Sometimes you have to use the common sense that God gave you. And I don't mean this as an insult. Don't check your common sense at the door when it comes to churches, and when it comes to spiritual leadership. Sometimes you're going to have to vet your spiritual leader just with your common sense. No one should be using fear tactics to get you to follow them in 2024. No one should be using fear tactics. God is not going to curse you if you leave your church. God is not going to punish you if you decide to leave the church where you're at. It's not a sign of spiritual immaturity. I know I still talk to people and they be like, God assigned me to go to this church. And you don't find that in the Bible. You don't find people being assigned to be a member at a church in the Bible. Most of the time, the way the Bible was set up, you had to go to a church based on where you lived. That was a thing. You had to go. If you lived in Los Angeles, you had to go to the Los Angeles church, the Church of Los Angeles. If you lived in San Bernardino, you had to go to the Church of San Bernardino. But now we got a church on every corner. So, I mean, it's a buffet, and I say make full use of it if necessary. Find a place that feels safe for you. But we got to get away from these fear tactics. When it says fear the Lord, he doesn't mean walking around feeling like you're going to drop dead any second. And it's because it is the Lord. It is of the Lord's mercy that you haven't taken your last breath. Hey, sis, how you doing? So find a ministry that feels comfortable for you. And I say go there, take your time though. Like, it's like getting in the pool. Take your time, get your feet wet, just take your time. Get to know the ministry well. Go to the ministry's website. Get to know the doctrine, the intricate parts of the doctrine, and go from there. Go from there. But we got to get away from these fear tactics. I just want to talk to you about one fear tactic that we really need to get away from, and that's this right here. Right here. This is the one we got to get away from.
That you may know that there is a prophet in the land. That you may know that there is a prophet in the land. I urge you very seriously to go see your physician. You are already dealing with extremely high blood pressure, and the medication that you have taken has not done anything for it. And I declare to you that there is a cardiac event in your future if you continue to put your mouth on men who are actually sent from God. I declare to you that the only place from which you will be able to call my name is a hospital bed if you do not watch what comes out of your mouth concerning God's servant, that you may know that there is a prophet in the land, so that his drivel might have.
So what was going on here? We all know Roland Martin is a political commentator. Okay. And so he was reviewing the upcoming election, which we now know Trump won. And during the campaigning process, a few prominent Black preachers, one of which was Clarence McClendon, began to declare that Kamala was not God's choice, and Kamala, some of them were calling her a witch, and I mean they were just going ham on her. And I don't want to revisit all of that and relitigate all of that. So Roland Martin asked a serious question. He said, you have all of these words of wisdom when it comes to the election, But what do you do for the Black community specifically when when the cameras are not on, and when it's not benefiting your pocket? What are you doing for the Black community specific? He referred to them as pimps, or whatever, but an intellectual response would have sufficed. It really would have sufficed. He could have been like, well, I give backpacks away and I give clothes away and we do financial education. He could have come back with, even if he wanted to take the spiritual route, I preach to their souls, and I that's what we believe, and I would have thought it was a load of crap, but still, you respect an intellectual response. But instead, they do these fear tactics, and these fear tactics is that if you say something critical about a preacher or a woman of God, or if you have an opinion that's not flattering to a man or woman of God, then they do this thing where they feel like you're touching God's anointed and you're doing the prophet harm. And they start telling you, touch not mine anointed and do my prophet no harm. And they start with all of these fear tactics to try to silence you. And in a lot of cases, they try to silence your common sense, the common sense that God gave you. And a lot of times they try to silence the voice that you've been naturally given. So I want to look at this balanced, okay? I want to look at this balanced. So first, I want to say, of course, we shouldn't just be going around saying disparaging things about people. And yes, everyone deserves respect, preachers included. They deserve respect, period. But I also want to say that anyone who is in a public service position that is not doing things that are integral, or who may overstep and say some things that are counterproductive for the community, you deserve to be called out on your crap. Period. That goes for me. That goes for the next blogger or vlogger. That goes for the preacher. That goes for the church mother who sits on the front row. When you start telling us candidates are witches and warlocks and you don't have proof, like they ain't had one video of her sipping on no blood, walking on no coals, throwing in incantations. They just want to call somebody. Mm, mm, this is not that show. This is not. A lot of times they just want to say things out of anger and emotion, but don't think things all the way through. Some things can be solved with just having an intellectual conversation. A conversation. If you didn't agree with her policies, bring that up. Bring that up. But then you got to be okay with the other side being able to bring up their dislike or their support of her policies. In many cases, I have said this before, and I think we have to move away from this as a community. We have traded the plantation for the church in many ways. We don't have opinions. We don't have our own thoughts. Many of us aren't even allowed to own our own emotions and support our own Blackness, because we have embraced these type of teachings. And so I just encourage you to stay away from these type of teachings. And when you step out and you start pursuing a teacher that affirms you, supports you, and not pacifies you, but pushes you. When you start finding teachers that do this, they're going to say that you are heaping teachers to your ear that will scratch your ear scratchers. That it's been a while since I read the Bible. You are seeking out a teacher that is scratching your ears. That's basically going to repel you and support you in your own lust. And you have to be comfortable with people attacking that side of who you are and just moving forward and, just doing who you are, being who you are, living your life, loving the God of your understanding and moving forward. Because at best, and I'm finna end right here, at best, I mean, at the very best, we all guessing. We are all guessing. Ain't nobody been to heaven and took no selfie with God. Ain't nobody came back with no picture like, hey, this is me. This is the Holy Ghost. And there's Jesus in the background. And that's me. You see, we have no proof that exists. Ain't nobody got video of the heavenly choir singing, By the same token, no one's been to hell. I know people be like, hell is real. Hell is real. And that's that fear-driven thing again. No one's been to hell. Ain't nobody got a selfie with Satan. You may want to call a few people Satan that you do have a selfie with, but they're not really Satan. They're not really Satan. I'm saying all of this to say, find a spiritual place that is comfortable for you, that is going to affirm you, that is going to push you, of course, hold you accountable, but that's going to allow you to grow and develop. Okay. So that's what I'm gonna do different in 2025. What you gonna do different in 2025? Drop that in the comment section. Let's have this conversation. It's wild. That whole Clarence McClendon clip is wild. And before I get off, I gotta do hell. Y'all know I preached 3 years, so y'all know I'm gonna lie about ending at least 3 times before I actually end. Why do you want to be right about some stuff like that? Like, why do you want to be right about someone having a cardiac event in their future? Why would you want to be right about that? Why would you want to broadcast that for everybody to hear so that when it happened, everybody look back at you and say, don't play with that one because he will prophesy your death. Like, what? I don't get it. That part I don't get. I don't support at all. Anywho, thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to this channel because we back, and we will be having more conversations surrounding church culture, and we're going to push the culture forward one issue at a time. Bye. I'm into seeking a relationship with Christ. I'm not into seeking religion anymore. It's almost like, what do you do when the truth that you've experienced is different than the truth that you've been taught all these years? What do you do? And as it relates to people who support you or may be in your corner, you can only engage a person to the extent of their knowledge. Some people have awesome Bible knowledge from a church standpoint, but they have not studied history. They have not studied the literary context, the historic, or the global context of the scripture. So the conversation is going to be kind of limited. Yes, I absolutely believe in God. I absolutely believe in the things of God. I even have faith in the church. I'm just on a different path right now. Now, if you love me, you're more than welcome to join me on
but it could have been me. Outdoors, no food, no clothes, could have been let you alone. Without a friend, we started it, in case y'all didn't know. Just another number with a track.